right, everybody, Paperboy back at you. I'm just about a mile and a half from my shipper. What's the name of my shipper? Here's the Atlas tube place here on the right. There's a lot of steel stuff back in here. New core, there's Atlas tube. Oh man, all kinds of stuff. But this place I'm going to, I've picked up there once before. It's called JMS. And I remember having a hard time finding exactly where to turn into to check in. But I think I'll be able to remember it this time because there's just so many places in the near vicinity, it's hard to tell. Alright, so we're going to take a right here on North County Road 1015 it's called. This is the same road you have to go down. Remember a few weeks ago I had to go down to the end of this over the tracks and turn left and go about a mile and a half back on the dirt road to get to the oh gosh, what's the name of that place? I can't even remember the name of it. You know, the one where it's back behind the Nucor plant. I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, we got stuff coming up here on the right. I just got to figure out which one it is. I can see the yard down here on the right where I'll probably get loaded because they got a bunch of coils sitting outside. But there's a check-in place. Let's see, not this one. Alright, I think I gotta go down to the next spot. Yeah, I think this is it. And then as I make this turn, you can see maybe in the distance there's a bunch of coils sitting outside over there. That's probably where we'll get loaded. At least the first time I came here, that's where we got loaded. Alright, so let me pull over here by this other truck and go check in and we'll see what's going on. More later. Alright guys, well, I've arrived here at the Maverick North Little Rock yard. I meant to start filming earlier, but I've been having some camera problems. So anyway, I stopped off here at the supply barn. I wanted to try to swap out my four foot tarps, but there's nobody here, which is odd. But I want to give you a look of the yard here. They're doing some work up to the front part of the parking lot, so it's all blocked off. But luckily there's a couple of spots here in the third row, which will be fine. Because I could even plug in my, I can put a power cord into this outlet here and leave my truck power on over the weekend. That's cool. Alright, so here we go. Now I need to get out and show y'all this load because this is kind of an interesting load. Let me get backed up here though. I pulled forward too far, I think. Alright. here. All right, let me get out and show you this load, because when I was in Blytheville picking up this load, I mean, I was the third truck. You know, there was 3 of us there, me and another Maverick driver, and then another driver, independent guy. And I was the third truck, or should have been, in the loading order, but he brought the first coil and loaded my truck, so he kind of caught me off guard. I wasn't ready. I was going to get out and kind of explain my setup, my cradle setup and everything, but he got me loaded before I was expecting. All right, so look, here's what we got. This is a what you call a eye to the side slitted coil. You can see that's actually 6 coils wrapped into 1 coil, and then it's got the big banding around it to keep it tied together. But the way Maverick teaches us to do these is you got to do an 8 o'clock chain up here. So you take a chain and go around the top, bring it down to the other side, forming a figure 8. Now the setup on this thing is what's important. When you set your cradle up, you need to have it right here in the middle, so your center, 2 center chains can go a number 1 hook up here and a number 1 hook up here. All right, so one of your center chains goes over the top to make the figure 8 chain. All right, the other one just goes straight through like normal. All right, but here's what makes it even harder on this particular coil. It's so big that 1 chain is not quite long enough to make the figure 8 chain with just 1 chain. So you have to, if you can see right here, it's kind of hard to follow, but this chain here is 1 chain up to right here, and then this is all that's left of it, right? It's not enough to go through and make your hookup. So you have to use another chain right here to hook up right here. So that's using 2 chains to make that figure 8. All right, that's kind of weird. The first time I ever had a coil like this, I had it all screwed up. Neil Otts actually helped me get it chained up better. He happened to be there getting the load, and I recognized him. We started talking, and he helped me fix a couple of my chains. So thank you, Neil. But yeah, this coil weighs a little over 44,000 pounds. So it took 6 coil racks, you know, 8,000 pounds a piece, would secure up to 48,000 pounds. Likewise with the chains, you know, you need 6 chains, really 7 counting this one that needs 2 to make the figure 8, but for weight purposes, 6 chains. And the figure 8 chain counts toward your securement. So just to clear that up. So I got 2 skid mats. This thing is so wide, I put 2 skid mats, spread my coil racks out pretty far. You do not use coil pads underneath slitted coils. So there's no pads underneath here, and it's off the trailer, got about 1 inch of space there. Everything else is, except for the figure 8, you know, everything is the same as a eye to the side coil. You see it's got padded edge protectors on the top and bottom, and then of course right there. Let me go around and give you all this stuff here is just extra chain. You know, I just drug it across the trailer and hooked it up with bungees instead of wrapping it all around here. This was so tight and busy, I didn't want to wrap them all around there. In the training, you know, they kind of teach you to wrap your chains around and bungee them up, and I do that sometimes, but not in this case. So here's a view from the back. It's a big coil, but here's what it looks like from the other side, and it's really good, nice and tight. And when you're making your figure 8, you use 2 binders. You know, what I did is first on the other side, I used an over center binder to pull it tight over there, and then used this ratchet binder to tighten it over here, because you got to tighten both sides. And also, when you're putting your chains on, you'd put your figure 8 chain on first, because if you put your other chains on first and then did your figure 8 last, they say that it could, you know, if you put all the pressure on the bottom edges of the coil and tighten them up, it could cause the upper part of the coil to separate. So they teach us to make the figure 8 chain first, you know, get that good and tight, and then do the rest of your chains. So that's the deal with that. It's kind of you know, it's a different kind of coil, having to do the figure 8, especially when it requires 2 chains to make the figure 8. So, and they go over all this with you in your training. It's just that when you get out there on your own, like I'd been out on my own for about 3 months when I had my first one like this. I don't remember if it required 2 chains or not. I picked it up in Kentucky, but I didn't have it positioned just right, so I was having trouble getting my chains hooked up as well as this one is. So, you know, it's just stuff you learn once you get out there. Make a mistake here and there, and then you get better. But here's the lot. A lot of people here already. There's the training building. If you're coming here to Maverick to get your CDL and to start work, that's where you'll be spending a lot of your time getting trained. Somebody's dropped a trailer here. You know, maybe the truck's in the shop, or maybe gonna do a load swap. But let's see what else we got going on here. There's the shop over there. All right, give me a minute and I'll close out the week with you. Okay guys, let's review things and close out this week so I can get home. Before I review the miles though, I wanted to mention I had a couple of guys that have emailed me this week that have start dates set up with Maverick. Randy, I think Randy lives in Virginia. I'm not sure about that. I have to go back and look that up, but he's got a start date set for January 9th. And Roy, who lives in Malvern, about an hour from here, he got accepted this week, but I don't think he's got a start date set. So congratulations, Randy and Roy. And then I still got several other guys, you know, a couple still have COVID, I guess. I hadn't heard from them in a week or so. Or, you know, waiting for the holidays. So I'll try to touch base with some of those guys soon. But the miles for last week were 1,942, which is a shorter week than the past several weeks. But if you'll remember, that week I didn't start out until Monday morning, and I had a delivery just down the road here about 5 miles at a Home Depot store, and all the miles for that trip had gone on the previous week. So and then they dispatched me to Malvern after I made that delivery at the Home Depot, picked up an order, and they had me come back here because they wanted to replace some wheel sensors on the truck. So I lost about 3 hours of time there, and I actually ended up going home for the evening. So, you know, it was a short week because of that, you know, starting on Monday and having to put the truck in the shop for a few hours. So yeah, let me look up the payroll to go with that. Give me a second. Okay, the gross pay for that 1,942 mile week was $1,639.15. $1,639.15. So for you guys that like to see the miles and the gross pay, there you go. I'm giving it to you. And let's see, this next week will be a short week too. This load that I have, this coil that I just showed you, it delivers in Sand Springs, Oklahoma. I went there earlier this week. You know, I'll probably leave out Sunday afternoon, you know, and drive 3 hours or so. There's a rest area right into Oklahoma that's easy stop, always some room there, and then get it delivered Monday morning. But I have a special request to be off next Friday, so I'll be getting home on Thursday. So at least that's the way it should work. It'll be a short week. I've got 2 vacation days left, or PTO days, paid time off days. I'm taking one of them this coming Friday, which is Veterans Day, and one of them I'm using the day after Thanksgiving. So all right, well, that's it for the week. Like I said, I'll be back out here Sunday evening. We'll get next week started, and we'll see you there.